airplane seats, so I slept most of the way.
But
Okay.
I would thought that it would be easier to go the other way around than the longer path. Or how long would have it been if you took the other way around the globe?
You can't
About the
go the other way,
about
Timo, because you'd fly over Russia.
Ah, okay.
no, you don't fly over Russia, not from Canada anyway. The other way, well, I guess you do. I guess you fly over eastern Russia, but
You'd fly
I
over
don't think that's a
Kamchatka.
problem. Yeah, I don't think that's a problem. I fly over
The
Russia.
sanctions. It's the sanctions that make it a
Yeah,
problem.
yeah. We live.
Yeah, it's Canada. We don't have any issue. It's Americans that do.
We have 1,342 kilometers problems with Russia. The border.
Well, we all have those problems, but we can still fly over it.
Okay. Yep.
So yeah, it was good. It was good. Lots of good food, that's for sure. I discovered I do like the South Indian food. It's good food.
And
Oh
you
yeah,
had
dosas are amazing. Like I love dosas.
Yeah, it's breakfast.
Hello, Miko.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hey Robert. Sorry, I haven't been that actively participating in this calls, but I've been insanely busy with the startup like that we've been building. And now I think Teemu will get busy too because he just joined us.
Yeah, that's wonderful. We're gonna hit into the top of the hour. So, Ruth, let's just open the same way as ever, and then who do we got on for today? And then we'll segue to the live Helsinki, and then introduce the guys and turn it over to Timo and Miko. How does that sound?
All right, sounds good. We're broadcasting as well on LinkedIn and YouTube. For some reason it auto broadcasts now when I join. I'm not sure what changed. Just a heads up. Yeah, so yeah, we'll start here in a minute.
And yeah, Miko, congratulations on Aegeon.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I hope we
All
can
right,
make the
so
impact that we set out
we're
to
at the
do.
top of the hour here, guys. So I'm gonna hit record, and we'll get everything going. So, all right, I'm back. It's I don't even know what day it is. It's been such a crazy week here, but we have a special edition because I didn't realize I was going to be back. So we've got live from Helsinki and Timo and his crew that will be sort of providing us with this week's guidance and materials and demos and everything else. So I'm not sure what we're doing because I wasn't involved. But for me, I just got back from 72 hours in Bangalore, India. I got to see Craftsman in person. Thank you for coming, by the way, Craftsman. Really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me and show me some of the local scenes. I did some business while I was there. I spent 40 hours getting there and back, and 72 hours there. So maybe I should have spent a little more time there, but I got a lot going on. So that's been my week. I'm a little zoned out here at the moment, so probably not in the top of my game, but that's okay. We got Timo to help. Timo, what do you got lined up for us this week?
Okay. We have a splendid catering from the Finnish Agentrix Foundation. First of all, Mikko Alasara, who originally actually introduced me to Agentrix and this foundation, and I'm so proud and happy that I'm also able to be part of this great foundation. But there are also a couple of my friends lined up, Mikko Rusoma and Marko Taipale, Antti Rintala, who will be joining in the let me say show. But shortly, an introduction from the Agentrix in Finland. Me and Mikko started this foundation or the Finnish chapter. I believe that was in August, and immediately after the founding of the chapter, it exploded, and the whole team and the movement started and grew faster than ever I could have imagined. We founded a WhatsApp channel and invited people, and it was like a couple of days, and it was full full of the maximum limit of 2,000 people. But Mikko, perhaps you would like to introduce yourself and tell something a little extra.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Mikko Lasarra, and I'm also one of the co-founders of the Agentix Finland with the Teemu. Yes, it got crazy very quickly. I think it helps that we are well known in the country, of course, with the Teemu in the AI space, but we never anticipated the level of enthusiasm towards the Agentix movement that we had. Like all of our events were at minimum 3 times overbooked for throughout the fall, and then the maximum I think one was 5 times overbooked, and so right now, of course, like for us, like the challenge is that Teemu made the bold choice to join me with Aegeon, and now we are running one of the fastest growing startups in Nordics, and it's going to take a lot of our attention and time. So we are trying to figure out like how to continue with the events going forward. Like we definitely have willing partners, so hopefully we can outsource some of the heavy lifting of event organizing to our partners. So, but thanks everyone for joining. It's a privilege and pleasure to showcase you some of the cutting edge AI from Finland.
Yeah. I believe we could say something about the current situation with AI in Finland. Last Friday, you were in presenting something, your thoughts on AI in Lahti in Finland, and there was 1,000 people, and there was standing ovations, and Mikko was like a superstar in the event, so that he didn't get out of the room without signing 500 autographs and so forth. They took selfies, and all of my friends told me that your guy is very very excellent speaker and uplifting also for the Finnish scene. Today we were with Mikko. We were today meeting one of the Finnish authorities, Traficom, and they also like see that the AI scene in Finland is in very good shape. What would you say? Want to say about the public sector and the status of the Finnish public sector AI things that Mikko Rusama is soon going to show something. But what would be your take on the public sector AI status?
I think the pivotal moment for me was on 17th of November. We had this event organized by Peter Sarlin in Turku, an AI summit, which gathered pretty much all of the people who are actively leading in the AI space in the country. It was an excellent event, but I have been telling the Finnish population already since like beginning of last year that if you think of AI as a tool, you are already behind. And that was the important like message for everybody, because there was a lot of companies because Finland as a country was actually leading the adoption of copilots and ChatGPTs and this basic like chat tools in Europe, and there was like a sense of being satisfied with simply like adopting a like tools like that, and I was like, no, that's not the thing. Like the thing is that if you always see AI as an extension of your own capabilities, you are always being limited by your own capabilities. And so simply by using it as a tool, you are always limited by the human behind the tool. And the whole message that I was telling, both in TV interviews, in podcasts, in media interviews, like the biggest newspaper in Finland, Helsingin Sanomat, wrote an article about my journey with Agentix. Like the agents, like in March, which became the most read diamond article in the whole magazine of the year, and in that I was also displaying the power of agents. And on 17th of November, in this AI summit, the Prime Minister of Finland came to stage and said aloud, AI is not a tool. And I got my messages completely flooded on my phone, like with everybody saying, hey, congratulations, you finally got this message through. Now the Prime Minister said it aloud. Like everybody now understands this moment. I think that was probably one of the most important moments for me, at least. Like it was really fun to see.
Mikko, I believe that the Prime Minister said something else also, what was very interesting in between our journey, that it was, I think, March or April last year, but then we were talking that where the AI is heading to, and what should like organizations think of the development of AI. And at that time, I believe that Mr. Trump told the Microsoft or other authorities that the accounts of internal criminal court judges should be closed, and they, I think, what's they called this?
ICC, yeah.
And they like put under like control so that they can't access their emails, and at that time, if somebody are pressed that much by political reasons, I think that we also made a decision to do something about the technological sovereignty of at least for Europe. What do you want to say about that? Because the Prime Minister also mentioned the same thing in the same speech.
Yeah, so like I have to say that that was actually about the time when I met with Teemu the first time. It was like in March 2025 that we had our first lunch, and that was the first time I met you, Teemu. And I had at the same time, like I also had a meeting with the former Prime Minister of Finland, Juha Sipilä, and as well as the co-founder of Silo AI that got sold to AMD, and Juha Hulkko. And when I was having this dinner with them, I was explaining like my plan on building a startup that will build like a European contender into the forefront of AI space. And there was a lot of course, like support from both of them for doing this. But one of the important parts that Juha Hulkko said to me at the dinner was that, "Hey Mikko, it's fantastic that you are helping the country to do AI native transformation, but it's not enough. You also have to play through the digital sovereignty." And I was initially like resisting that a bit, like because I was like, "Hey, how can like a startup try to change everything at once?" Like it's an incredibly bold ask to basically push companies into this full AI native transformation and throw themselves into this massive change, but also at the same time push this digital sovereignty. And you have to take that into account that Finland's infrastructure is pretty much completely dependent on Microsoft currently. Like it just simply is. And and I thought that it's kind of like a big fight to take from the sovereignty perspective. But then I went to Teemu and I said to Teemu that, "Hey, we need to transform this country." And Sitra, where Teemu at the time was serving as CIO, was in a very, very good spot to do that, because Sitra as an organization is a multi-billion government fund that funds the transformations like this, and and acts like as a foresight like think tank for the government on what needs to be done next, but also like funds those transformations that happen. And together we actually managed to start this transformation process with the head of Sitra plus Teemu like spearheading this change, and that change led into Sitra becoming a major financier of this government transformation that is currently ongoing in Finland. So we kickstarted the movement with the public sector together with them, but at the same time we are now doing it on the private sector side with this company. And I think that was one of the most bold initiatives that Sitra has ever done. And at the same time, I think expecting from the government, and this is the most important part, we set the bar high. Like you can typically think that these government transformation projects are full of bureaucracy and and all kinds of like side quests that are leading to nowhere. But Citra's like requirements for these transformation projects now in this new fund are actually that there has to be a significant productivity leap resulting from those projects. And this has been actually the main story that I've been telling on my public presentations in the country, that there needs to be an ambition level of at least tripling the productivity with AI. Like if you don't shoot high enough, like there's like I said, the results are too slow, you know, and the change is too slow to compete on a global scale. So in order for us to really lead the change, we have to be bolder and we have to do bigger things. And I think this has started to resonate, you know, and there has been starting, like, people are now talking more openly that, you know what, like, you can actually do this. You can go and do this jump. And I think that's important in like when you're talking about the mentality of a nation.
Exactly. Hey, yeah, Mikko, it's been a great journey so far, and I know there's time-bound restrictions with my predecessor Mikko Rusama, who is also joining this call, and for the sake of clarity, in Finland we also do this agentic development, and with what we have been trying to accomplish with this all transition towards native organization or native public sector, native country. Mikko is a leading, shining example from a person who joined my team in August as an executive advisor, and while he was responsible for the change management in AI era, he actually, with his old habits of being a software developer, have regained his abilities, and is showing shining examples how an organization and how one person can create real meaningful changes within an organization. So Mikko Rusama, would you like to have a seat? Or Linda, there's a hand up with Linda.
Just quickly, yesterday was the day which was supposed to be the launch day for the European language database. And I built now, just as a POC, one MCP server for Finlex, which is Finnish law, but it's going to be all of European APIs converted into MCP. I'll get back to that in the group, but you will have more data soon.
Excellent. That's great news. And there are so many initiatives ongoing and so many people adopting the AI way of developing, like Linda is also doing. But I know that Mikko has this time-bound with his demonstration. So Mikko, please go forward. And Rob or Rube, is there a possibility to give the sharing possibility for Mikko Rusama?
Yeah, I should have probably. I can try that. So hi everybody. I feel honored and humble to be able to speak to you. And so I have been before joining the Sitra. I have been Chief Digital Officer at the City of Helsinki for 5 years, and before that, Chief Digital Officer at our national broadcasting YLE, and I have been also working for gaming sector and media sector companies. And Mikko Alasaarela told that Sitra's mission is to renew Finland, basically, or transform Finland, and with funding and kind of giving good examples on how to improve productivity with AI. And this title of my short kind of demo could be Transformation from Executive Advisor to Programmer. Teemu hired, as Teemu told you, Teemu hired me back in August, and personally it has been really eye-opening experience to jump into the, let's say, agentic world. And I'm grateful for this opportunity to Teemu and also Sitra to be able to kind of see the light, you could say. So basically, I briefly tell you like what we have been doing at Sitra. One starting point for this AI transformation at Sitra has been that to be credible partner and kind of helping hand to Finnish public sector, we have to renew ourselves. We have to transform internally. And for that, for example, we have set a training program called AI Passport, and we have created a kind of a change agent network. And now I try to share you something. Okay, no, it's not giving me rights to share. Let me see. let's see,
Ruth,
what is
can
it?
you,
Open. Actually, let me see. Some private.
Sorry, guy. Yeah, you should be good to
Just a
share.
sec.
I
Yeah,
think
but actually, I have
Mac,
some kind of privacy restrictions. I see.
Mac.
This is crap. Let me see. Okay.
it's the demo gods, Miko. It strikes us all.
Yeah. I actually, this forces me to quit and reopen to be able to share content. Sorry about that. Should I
No,
quickly?
just do it. I can fill you in at this moment because
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't present,
I
but
restart Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be back, like Arnold Schwarzenegger says.
the point being that Mikko has a Mac OS and new computer installing Zoom, and then you have this like. Actually, I believe that I also have the same setting if I need to present something that I don't have this access into Mac to present without restarting the software. That's a very annoying feature. All in Teams or Google Meets or come on, everything. But anyone want to comment or say something at this moment about anything? Questions?
Yeah, sounds like you have a good opportunity in Finland. So lots of adoption and support from the government, and yeah, it's exciting to see it. What does that mean in terms of like the adoption within the government? Does that mean they're comfortable with this technology?
It depends completely on individuals. I could say that it depends. For example, if somebody is taking the adoption very quickly, Mikko could probably tell that people in Sitra already have adopted. For example, just the normal users have adopted Lovable to implement new software, and others are just still hesitant. So it depends so much on the persons. But Mikko, go ahead. Your
Sorry.
Logging back in.
Okay, let's see.
Your screen share is working. So
there's a question also coming from
can you
We
know?
see Citra.
Okay, so can you see the Christmas calendar?
Yes.
So I just give you examples. In our change network, change agent network, we were figuring out like how to spread the AI knowledge. And during the month of Christmas, we basically decided to create the Christmas calendar. So you can see familiar faces, like if you see the door number 2, there is Teemu. And the idea was that every day new like door was opened, and when you opened the door, you could basically see kind of a one hint. This is unfortunately Finnish, and you could share. Sorry, you could also share these links, and there was QR code through which you could access the instructions, and this was in a way important kind of application, made it lovable. It had SSO. It has a full back-end functionality with the kind of admin features. So you could configure content of each hint and have the kind of images uploaded or generated with AI, and you could add music, and you had analytics and stats. So I think this was a fun experience. To me, this was really important because I realized that how easy it is to create applications without knowing the syntax. And this kind of I also started Lovable training at Sitra, and one real success story is called the kind of new proposal funnel tool. So our international team is preparing these international projects, and kind of trying to get funding from EU, different funding horizon kind of funding instruments. And earlier they had been managing this kind of process through various Excel sheets. And after 1 hour of training, one of the guys basically implemented a full-scale, let's say, solution that now a team of 20 people are using. And it's a full stack solution. And really, I don't even know how to use this. I'm not personally using this, but I'm just excited about the fact that person who didn't have any prior programming experience was able to actually create a solution that is replacing Excel sheets and actually boosting the productivity of the team. One of the questions I was asked by the kind of, you could say, the CEO of Sitra was like, we would need the better kind of understanding of like what is actually happening right now. I in a role of executive advisor, I have realized that many companies are having so many activities and the kind of portfolio management, if I use this term, is not working properly. I mean, information is spread all around in different systems, and from the top executive's point of view, it's difficult to get a hold of like what exactly is going on. And for this reason, basically Atti Askelainen, the kind of head of Sitra, asked me like, could I help like figuring out how do we get a better like grip on what's going on and how to visualize the data that is now in our old ERP system. And basically, I approached this by again using this lovable, and I think my thinking was initially that I make a concept and plan how the portfolio management should work, and then the actual real developers would implement this. And this is a kind of prototype I implemented lovable. It has all the Kanban views, I mean Gantt charts, you can define dependencies, you can have kind of finances and kind of actions linked all together. And interesting thing was that I also implement kind of AI capability that AI is generating like summary of this project automatically. So I did this kind of prototype first, but it's one thing to do this kind of standalone solution that is quite functional, but the problem was like how on earth you kind of integrate this with our legacy ERP systems based on Microsoft Dynamics. So Microsoft is a very dominant player in Finland, and I think the true challenge with many organizations that they are struggling with legacy. So you can very quickly develop something with AI, but when you are talking about real production systems, it gets very difficult. And I think this is where I think with the help of them, we really made a breakthrough when Microsoft introduced this kind of Power Apps, Code Apps concept that was actually made general availability only like last week or so. So now I show you Code App that this is the real portfolio view showing projects Sitra is currently working on. And this data is actually coming from a real ERP system, and you can choose different portfolios. And you also have the, let's say, the kind of objective and key results model here implemented. And we also have risk registry. And to my own surprise, I could do this with some help from our main architect. So when I call, this was eye-opening experience to me. Like I couldn't believe before I joined Sitra that I would be actually programming on top of the old ERP systems. So if I'm able to do this, I can see that big change is coming. The roles, I see many paradigms. I can see that we are shifting from AI agents being assistant to real agentic way of working where agents are co-workers. But I can see also that traditional roles are blurring.
Absolutely.
Roles of project manager and product manager and coder are merging together. In my
Mikko,
case,
because this is absolutely incredible in my opinion, also seeing that how fast with the genuine will and genuine good tools, and I have to say that we wouldn't be here without Mikko Alasarva introducing us to Agentics, or Ruben and Rob and other people founding this foundation and sharing this information, and we are just one or two other participants in the movement that is ongoing. And what I actually with this I wanted to show that everyone can do when you have a need and you understand what you are actually what is the outcome going to be, and when there's will, you can do this stuff. And I know we have had these discussions that wow, these are actually on top of Microsoft stack, and if we would have been able to implement this on top of Lovable or open source stack, it would have been much faster. But even Microsoft is also coming on this area, and also the process from planning and developing the user interface. What is the success criteria, acceptance criteria? What does the success look like? So then we can adapt and transfer the technology also on top of the old ERP and Dataverse Microsoft environment, albeit being it a little bit more difficult. Anyway, okay, yeah. Mikko, thank you very much. Any questions? Vlad, at least I can see you have hand up.
Yeah, Timo, you just mentioned, you said like you wish you were like an open source stack, but I think that's where the actual like the money and like the opportunities are. It's unlocking this corporate or like governmental like silos with the Dynamics or this SAP and everything. So it requires careful architecting, but you get the most value of it because like open source, they are greenfield, like Lovable, any like AI assistant, they can get you a website in like half an hour, like or so, right? But this is much more because there is so much data, so much actionable, like when you're talking about government or industrial things, there is so much actionable stuff behind it. Like, so if you like open up the agentics to it, that's what you get the most value. Like, so I love what you guys are doing.
Well, I could say that when Mikko joined Sitra, there was a cardboard where there was a paper depicting the Kanban and our project portfolio. That was a true paper, a cardboard where people were like moving those between Kanbans because we didn't have any solution. When we were able to make the visual illustration, what would the success look like, it was then easy to transfer. I have to say that, as Vlad, you said, that having to port the existing on top of existing solution is much slower than doing that from greenfield or even bluefield. But the brownfield is it's not that easy, and it's the most complex thing within the organization. And I could say that Mikko was able to do the Lovable version in a couple of days, but porting it on top of the Dataverse was like 2 weeks.
But
and
if I add, so any project becomes brownfield project within like 2 weeks after it started, basically.
Yeah. Yes, and I would say that in order to succeed, you need to understand the existing architecture. And to my benefit, I have been working with relational databases, and I was able to understand the existing Dataverse structure. And second important lesson is that you need to have the business acumen to understand what business really wants. You need to have the mental model on how should it work, and then you need to map what you want to achieve with the very legacy database structure, and then you need to have the sufficient technical skills. So basically, I'm using Cloud Code. And to give you an example that was really, also I think great success. So the head of the organization said with me after I demonstrated this first time, and he said that it would be really cool if you could print out these kind of Kanban cards. As Teemu mentioned, there has been this physical board beforehand. So while we were sitting on the table, I said that, hey, can you buy me a lunch if I do this feature for you? So Teemu has, and we have been also trying to kind of promote this kind of mob eye approach to coding. So this was a true mob eye AI session in the cafe with the head of the kind of Citra, and basically I did this PDF kind of feature. Actually, I'm not sure if you see this now, but
Yes,
we can see.
so basically, I did this one and earned lunch. So, but my point is that then I also did a PPTX version, and
Mikko, I won't be playing poker with you because you.
but I think. So this is the third paradigm shift we are seeing, that the feedback loop, iteration cycles are getting much, much faster. So in a short talk, I can create a feature if I know what I'm doing and show it to the customer, so to say. And as said, I have been treated like a 15-year-old teenager after kind of getting back to programming after like 20 plus years. Okay, but this is my story, and probably, as I said, I'm humble. I think what I have done is not unique. I want to thank Teemu and Agentix for helping me in my personal transformation. Teemu has said, I learned this from Teemu, but experience sets the limits of understanding. And this has been also my message when talking with people, that you can talk about AI, but before you start really doing stuff with AI, that is the moment when you see the light. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mikko.
Hope we do great things together and where we are working. So thanks, Teemu, for the opportunity to talk to you, and Mikko too. So have a great meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mikko. Actually, Mikko Rusama gave me a couple of excellent segues to the next topic that we have been preparing for this audience, for the reason that no one can match, or almost no one can match, with Ruben and the development of technology and tools. But let's say that we want to compete or also contribute to the Agentix foundation and the movement globally with the next topic that Mikko was already touching, and that is called MobAI, or which is made public or famous by Joe Justice in SpaceX and Tesla. But also there is this and fork of that created by my colleague Marko Taipale, who I would like to introduce and ask to join here, because one thing that we already have learned, that it's not only enough to be able to produce the software or the development fast and by yourself in your own chambers if you can't get other people along. And Marko has also written an excellent book on Collab AI, which I would like him to please introduce yourself, Marko, and the stage is yours. Mikko gave you a couple of credits.
I heard it.
Great.
Yeah. Hey. So hi everyone. I'm also really humbled to be here. I really appreciate the community and the global reach that we have here. So my name is Marco. I'm trying to solve two problems in the world. One is that what is worth of doing with AI, and the other one is that how can we get it done with AI? Basically, there's so much stuff that I could show and maybe share or tell. I'm just thinking what's the best way of conveying the message. Let's start. So, like 2 or 3 years ago, I was involved in the research project, and the task that was given, or the mission that was given for that research project, was asking the small question that what will happen to the whole software development when AI comes. I was in that research project. It was actually done with a customer. So it happened with ISS Finland, service company. And we wanted to basically do a real project. And we ended up doing a ERP extension, so existing ERP. Long story short, we tested 120 AI tools. The latest that we tested at the time was Cursor. But then we realized something really, really interesting. No matter what tool we used, we can, and it wasn't really about tools, because no matter how fast we were doing a activity, be that development, be that defining something, designing something, even pushing it out, the problem became always the kind of the next stage. So there seems to be queues in the process, no matter how you do it. If even you do your Scrum and sprints and whatnot, there's still queues. Meaning that somebody decides, let's do this, and there's a wait. And then somebody says that, okay, here's the design and architecture of it. And then there's the wait. And the wait can be a day, it can be a month, it can be anything. So actually the research question became how AI changes that. Not how it changes any activity, but how does it change the whole from end to end? And from one end being from idea and the other end being impact. And we pondered that and we tested that out with the customer, and what we ended up doing was that we had all the people across the value stream in single room working with AI agents, kind of agents. I mean, assisted AI at the time. Nowadays, it's gonna be swarms, right? So imagine that when you see something coming real, you get the business decision right there and then you move forward. So your decision speed goes like up from this, oh, I'm gonna give you feedback every 2 weeks, or I'm gonna give you a feedback one in a day, to I'm gonna give you feedback whenever you have something to show. And as we all know, probably at some level, that time is getting shorter. So when we measured that at the time, compared to that like 2 week sprints, your product owner, I mean, we didn't eventually ever even have that as a role, but we had it at the time when we were measuring, we started seeing like 500 times faster decision making. And that was kind of mind-boggling. And that's why I ended up writing a book, and that's why Collab AI. And I reached Joe Justice because I heard that, well, they are doing SpaceX, Tesla, that kind of thing at scale. So I wanted to learn that as well. And Joe was helping us in the Twin project. That was the research project. And then nowadays we are doing something quite interesting stuff at Aegeon. So I'm part of that, and probably that's something interesting. But yeah, I mean, I was just trying to make it somehow tangible, that I think that we are paying way too much weight on agentic coding and all the fancy tools that we have for that, and very, very little on how the whole can be agentic. Decision making, everything, like across the board. And that's saddening me because there's so much skill. I mean, this group, there's so much skill. but there's so little talk about that. And I find it fascinating because I see a lot of potential. So and that's why I'm here.
Can you Marco explain like how our days look like in Aegean, like because
Yeah,
our days look
absolutely.
like
Absolutely.
nothing else, like I think in our ways of working. So
so I come in at some point. Coming in meaning I join our virtual session at Slack huddle. I start sharing my screen. I start my agent swarms. At some point, Rintsi comes in. You're gonna hear about Rintsi soon. Or Mikko joins, or somebody of the guys. And they see straight away what I'm doing. And instead of onboarding or sync up or anything like that, they're like, okay, so is that the thing that we were yesterday discussing? Like, yeah, that's coming up. Okay, what do you think I should start? I'm like, well, I have these couple of sessions here, but maybe you could start that. Okay, let me start that. And Teemu or somebody starts showing the other screen. So we have 2 screens up. All the agents working, and we are discussing about how we wanna what do we wanna accomplish today. And that's all what we do. All day, every day. No meetings, nothing else. All the interruptions that we get is with our clients, and guess what we do there? The same thing.
maybe you add also this like new feature that we added lately to our GAC system, which is basically our autonomous coding environment, which is that it's not only us talking to each other and the agents doing the work, but it's also my agent talking to your agent.
Yeah. So we just so imagine these swarms are now working, and since we are discussing that, okay, you start that, I start that, let's see how this goes. And maybe you are doing, and some of, for instance, our CEO Janne is like, okay, I need to respond to this client here. I mean, he's also in the same session doing his stuff with AI, and he says that, okay, hey, there was actually customer feedback here, and then we're like, which of us actually should like stop the process, fit it in, and then we're like, well, now we have this agent-to-agent communication, meaning that these sessions are actually discussing over inbox. So they share real-time inboxes. And these inboxes are a way of, you can put anything in as a human as well. So guess what happens with the feedback? It goes in.
So practically, what we have done is we have extended the Claude Flow or the orchestration of teams of agents to into the next phase, and that is an orchestration between the team leaders in a virtual space where the decisions are made in instant, and the development and the development velocity has increased like tenfold. And I believe that currently we have been able to reach 100x or 150x the velocity compared to the traditional software development when you have teams, testers, analysis, and so forth. And this is per user. And I believe that what some of the best examples are with the customers who have also adopted the same way of working.
Yeah.
So we have been able to deliver the results to customers in the same pace as we are able to deliver, and the customers have also been able to adapt on that. What do you think, Mikko, Marco? Should we ask Rintsi to join us and perhaps show something on I know this.
I mean,
Fridays.
I think it should be pretty interesting for the audience to see like how a fully AI native organization works in practice, like with the development and everything. So I think Rintsi could showcase a little bit of that, and I think it could be interesting learning for everyone in the call.
Yeah. Now we need to walk the talk.
Yeah. Yo, hello everybody. They call me Rintsi. I'm part of Agent team as a founding architect, and I will now show you a little bit of something because this is a tech audience after all. So let me share my screen here. Tell me when you can see something.
Yeah, we can see the mission designer.
Yes, cool. So first of all, I think that I want to kind of like showcase some of the things that Marco was talking about, the speed that we have. And whenever something comes in, there's a customer request or something like that, then we need to be able to quickly adapt and show something that is meaningful for anybody. And I used to draw, architecture by hand, and everybody who has done it knows it's a very time-consuming task. So I kind of like call these my 15-minute side quests, and this was one of those. I think day before yesterday, because I grew tired of there's again somebody asking for some kind of illustration or architecture diagram. So I made this simple page with an MCP. So I did in order to save time, I did some research on a couple of technical things that we have, and then I have this diagram MCP here. So draw this with the diagram, and we should be now, hopefully, if demo guys allow me to showcase this or in order to see how it starts working with and building the architecture. This is now from 2 projects. So this is not. I selected something that wouldn't showcasing too much of our inner workings, but this is from AP6 server and the AP6 ingress controller, and basically it's drawing out how what kind of components and how they are actually connected to each other based on the research that Claude made on browsing the code base. So we get a rudimentary understanding of what the main components are and how they are connecting with each other. And it's really cool to see. First of all, that it builds it on before your eyes, because nobody wants to look at a spinner. But also that you can take whatever stance you want to and switch kind of like directions in between. That okay, what about in draw again from a security perspective. So then you can kind of like adjust mid conversation that okay, what about this thing? What about that thing? And then quickly draft something out and see that okay, and increase your understanding. And then when you actually start working with the thing, you can make decisions that okay, I want this to be there and that to be there, and let's implement and make a plan and then put it into our system, and the swarms can then handle that.
So this isn't directly, is it browsing the code base or database, or where it gets this data from?
This was done just by exploring the code base of 2 projects available in GitHub.
So the MCP server just did it in real time?
Yes. So the MCP is just for drawing. So the nodes come from Claude. So it first draws the nodes and then connects the edges. And really simple 15-minute thing that I did. And then the eventual idea is that we can export it to SVG. And now this is hyper optimized for visually impaired, but you will get this But yeah, so really little bit things here and there. It will most likely take another 15 minutes to get that SVG actually working, so we can use them in our materials and build material automatically into PDFs and whatnot. But just a nifty tool to quickly explore different perspectives and drawing diagrams and these type of things instead of fiddling.
50 minutes and it's already. Oh, wow. Hey, Antti, there is a couple of questions from Vlad and Linda. Perhaps ladies first, Linda.
Yes, just I usually ask Claude Code to give me the highest starred GitHub repos. Yeah, that's one thing that I go with. And also, of course, that all has to be open code, that I can use it in Claude Code for myself. And then a third thing, I don't use these diagram canvases, so I have no idea what you were talking about, Antti. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Vlad, what about you? Thanks.
I just have actually one question and one sort of like another suggestion. What is the software you're using to draw diagrams, like that MCP Canvas? Is it?
I think it uses ELK for calculating the routing.
Oh.
So it's the Elast.
Oh.
So it's a JavaScript library that calculates how it should be rendered, and then it's just SVG nodes that then get routed.
Oh,
so really
so
simple application.
This is your custom.
Yeah. Claude.
Okay. I thought you used
Claude built this. Yeah. So this is not something that you can it's not on GitHub.
Yeah.
I like to build things from the ground up. So
I see. And one
Vlad, have you ever heard someone saying, "Ask Claude to do it"?
Yeah.
Antti, did you plan to show something else as well?
I can show something else as well, but
there's a question from Robert. There's a question from Robert also. So
thank you, Timo. And thank you, Rinse. I love the visual of the team at Aegeon at their monitors, working with swarms and teams of agents, and being able to answer non-engineering questions and expediting the decision-making speed, all right there in real time. That is a spectacular image of what it is to be AI native today. I'm wondering, how far down the path have you gone with skills, custom skills, and using that tool set in order to create reproducible mechanisms?
That's an excellent question. I believe that there is something hidden in the source still coming, Antti, I believe.
Yeah, could we?
Yeah. So we have gone all the way with that. So if we want to just touch up.
Antti, do you want to send me an inbox message? I think that's one of the things that, because I mentioned that we send messages to our agents, so maybe we can just send messages to people so that people can see what we have here. You can say. So
yeah.
So Antti is now sending me a message. Now, of course, imagine this is going from agent to agent, but we're just demonstrating one capability that we have built for ourselves. If it goes
a demo effect. We seem to be having some downtime. My MCP session expired. So
it's on your end. Okay.
But let me quickly pitch in, like, for the GAC that we are using. Like, the GAC comes from the short from Governed Autonomous Coding, and that's our development environment that we have custom built for ourselves. It does have like a custom Claude Code agents combined with a actual backend system that has like a graph connected with the database with all of the support functions and all the deterministic processes that we are running in the system. So you can think of it as like what Ruv has done for you, like with Cloudflow, but it's completely optimized for our own use case as an internal system. And it does have a lot of concepts regarding like managing complex enterprise architectures, because we have one like in our hands here. One including this like messaging system, which is basically saying that when we are running simultaneous agent swarms Like in this case, like we could have like multiple agent swarms run by each of the members of the team who are collaborating in real time at the same time on this like video calls and huddles. There is a possibility that we are trying to modify like same files at the same time and stuff. So we made our system for the agents to talk with each other so that they don't interfere with each other's work. So this is like the system that lets both the agent swarms and humans participate this back and forth collaboration in a very smooth way. But Ritsi, take over.
Yeah. So with a little bit of trouble, I sent the message to Teemu because Marco's session was not active. So.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Rinsi, check your inbox.
So now, just imagine this happening like X amount of time, really, really fast across all the agent forms. That's basically the thinking.
Okay, but then also there is this. This is the part of the secret sauce of how we develop in between our team. Rinsi or Mikko, do you want to explain a little bit further? Since I believe that Rob's question related, how far have we taken these skills and hooks and other, or did you want Rinsi before show this FGA Explorer?
Well, either way. So we have
go away with this. Okay. I think you have planned this. So go forward.
Yeah. Well. Just quickly. With understanding relationship-based access control can be really tedious if just looking at the model definitions. Today, this was another 15-minute, things that I did today, actually, earlier in the afternoon. And we kind of need a way to model or visualize the model that we use for authorization so that when we do changes, we can assess visually that, okay, are the changes actually the ones that we need? FGA or Auth0 has the FGA visualizer, or they call it Playground as well. So, but it requires a login through their systems, and me being me, I said that okay, we don't need that. We can build it our own, and then here is so basically very similar to what we saw earlier, but you can get the full picture on what kind of things we have. We can insert tuples and do permission checks here to validate that everything works as they want. Of course, then these type of things would be tested with AIs, with agents. But in order to get into this medium of this medium transitional space where we need to understand that how do we want to model and quickly shift things around and assess that okay, this is the one we want to have. So it's just another techie demo of how our work does.
Can you quickly explain like what the GAC system does? I think that's probably very, very interesting for the audience here.
Yeah, so basically we do a planning session with Claude, as one does, and we are very big users of Ask User Query tool, because then when we don't identify gaps in our specification, Claude does it for us and they ask questions and we can decide then and there. We have the 4 eyes principle here that usually me and Marco are, as Marco stated, huddling all day, every day. From morning to night, so we make decisions then and there together. That okay, this is the way to go, and after we have a good kind of plan, we actually translate that into a Gherkin feature set, which then gets split up into work packages, which can then go into GAC and being developed. And then once that one feature goes in, we immediately start with the next one and the next one. And then here you can probably understand why it was important for us to have these personalized inboxes, because if we run multiple swarms at the same time, we need a mechanism for the agents to actually coordinate that what they are doing, so that if there is a clash in the code, so we can have multiple strategies on which they can resolve the problems themselves, rather than us being having to fix something as a retrospective. And that is a really powerful thing. So now we saw the kind of like funny inbox message exchange here, but you can imagine that what it does for the agents when they are actually being able to coordinate in real time.
And Antti, can you also explain like the how we manage the integration of the code that we do to the existing architecture with this GSE system?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. I almost forgot that. Kalas, like the most important things there. So we have created some innovation there. We call it the context assembly index, and we have a complete knowledge graph from the database or from the code base in a graph, and also that is bound to concepts. So the agents actually have conceptual understanding of our whole solution. And it restructures itself with each commit, and of course there will be commits along the way all the time. So that is kind of like the speed that we're going in, and we are constantly optimizing that for speed. So currently it's based on commits, but I think that pretty soon we need to move away from that, because that's also too slow. So basically, we call this message passing beats on steroids. It's basically works in a similar fashion, but just over HTTP in real time. And there's a lot of room for optimization, but we want to kind of like ground the things first, and then when everything is peachy, then we optimize for speed. But yeah, a lot of optimization to be done, but all in all, I'm quite happy with the things that they are now.
Okay, and one thing that I also was thinking that, like someone wrote in the chat, that the workflows are the thing in AI currently. Probably we would like to shortly introduce also why what agent is doing, and what's the secret sauce. Is Mikko or Antti who would like to take the chair?
Antti has the view here, so I think it's best that he does a quick demo on this, like a designer, because this designer is the thing that is the more interesting part here.
Somebody mentioned.
By the way, there is Marvin has his hand up at this. Mario. So maybe perhaps we take this question first.
So I have a question. So in terms of agent swarms and this design, this environment you have, how would you qualify? So first question is, do the agents, other than, agent 1 needs agent 2's work, so when agent 2 is done, tells agent 1, but are there other kinds of communications between agent using your messaging system, and can you characterize them?
Yeah, that's a good question. Currently, we only have kind of these coordination messages, and the agents decide themselves that, okay, how do we want to do that? But of course, it would be really interesting, and I think that we will add that to have kind of like an audit trail, of course, an AI audit trail, so that we would get a glimpse on what's happening behind the scenes, kind of like a notebook where agents read it. Type of thing. So I think that would give us some good insight on what kind of problems they're actually facing. But currently, we don't have visibility to that as of now. But most definitely, we will need to add that.
Well, what I'm trying to model the human analogy here. So would you see the environment where, like, an agent is in the process of doing something and he says, oh, I think this is going to change how we're going to direct things, and do you envision this agent communicating with another agent and interrupting what they're doing and trying to adjust it? Or is this more like I'm finished this, now you do your part type of thing?
Yeah, so basically what happens there that the plans that we do when we translate them to working mode is that they have annotations that basically when the work packages are done, we know exactly what files they're going to touch. And then if there comes another plan or feature that we can immediately see from GAC's perspective that there will be same files that they need to work with. So then they immediately before the new run happens, they can start coordinating before they start clashing swords with each other. So it's kind of like a twofold thing that where we actually know that there can be or most likely will be parallel work. So then we know that it's expected for the agents to start coordinating with each other. But yeah.
Okay. Why wouldn't we see the mission designer? So that's something that we have been cooking lately, and in accordance with the governance for the agents, I think that will bring the secret sauce out.
Yeah. So just a quick demonstration on how we approach on working with collab AI sessions with our customers. We talk about missions rather than agents more often than so that these missions encapsulate then basically the business processes of our customers. And when they want to automate some process, then in this transitional period where people are still, or organizations are still very much in digital transition, rather than being, in an AI native transition phase, there needs to be a midway where people can get in and understand if they are not in the frontier of development on AI. So we kind of like have been seeing this with our customers as well, that their eyes kind of like you can see from their eyes that they begin to understand the capabilities and possibilities of what is their role in the future in this transition, and then we have this AI assisted workflow generator where we can then focus on the missions themselves first, like what are the objectives, success criteria, and constraints. We also do voice missions, and then basically you can follow that. Okay, what are the things here? Then there might be a need for tools. I don't have my host connected now, but we could show that here that we could actually then build tools then and there. We have a tool builder. It builds code as an executable binary that can be then attached to the node, so it goes to a tool. It can do various kind of analytics and so forth with GNU scientific library and all that jazz. And then if I would have now my host connected in production, I have it on beta, but it's currently very much on the works. So I could then run this workflow, see it run. Either we have an execution chat here, or then a browser voice overlay that you can talk with the agent and see what happens in which step, and you get the token counts and what tools they call and full audit trail while it's running. It's a shame that I cannot showcase it now because I was still working on the system with 10 minutes before the call, and with this AI native speed, it's
But if I summarize quickly, like what you see here is that instead of like building individual agents, we actually prompt like full agentic processes into life, and and then you basically like create it with prompts, you edit it with similarly through conversation, and then once it's like ready for you to give it a try, you can instantly run it, and then once you've run it and you found that it works well, you can then put it to production. So we want to make it possible for business leaders to simply like prompt their wishes on how their business should run, and then deploy it to production in minutes. And then that's something that the speed of the future will look like.
Yep, I believe that this is pretty much the stuff that we already had prepared for this event. So anyone want to ask any questions, comments?
Wow. Nick?
Well, I just think it's great. I'm still digesting what we saw, but it's fantastic. I think it's really good, and I like how it actually allows people that may not be engineers to to follow along and be engaged in the process. That's a big missing piece that I think a lot of myself included, haven't really sorted out. So I really like that part of it too.
Mario, you have hand up.
So this is more a question about the public sector, the government sector. So I've worked with public sector for a long time in Canada, and one of the major problem we have adopting anything is always that the government data is usually have some kind of security clearance. Even just a note to my manager that I'm going to go to the washroom. It's not open data. There's a security level. So and that has impacts. For example, if you want to use Microsoft Azure, well, it needs to be hosted on an infrastructure that has been certified by the government. So how have you handled that especially in agentic environment using cloud code and running on the cloud large language models and how and where that runs? How have you had these discussions and what solutions have you found?
That's an excellent
Nobody's
question.
done that yet, but we're trying to. We're doing our best.
I believe that we might have an answer there. Mikko, you want to take this or?
I can give a quick answer. Like, of course, like Teemu is the more of an expert on the government side of the equation because he's just joined from the government-owned institution like to Adrian. But one of the things that we initially were like when we were building this, like we thought, how can you even run any agentic processes in the government clouds, like in the first place, because there's so many regulatory problems and things. So. We innovated this concept of separating the control plane from the data plane, and this idea that you actually host the data and agents like on the private environment of the government, and you create the VPN connection to the governance platform that we are running on our cloud instance to actually provide the governance rules and provide all the instructions and the intelligence to those systems without really having any access to the data on that system. And turns out that approach is now getting approved by multiple government organizations as a way of working. So this actually will become like this wholesale solution for providing services for the government units as an individual company. Teemu, would you like to elaborate on that more?
Yeah, actually, a couple of aspects, and at least in Finland, all the public sector organization data is public, unless there are certain reasons why to limit the access to it, and there is a strict legislation, but there is this openness policy in general in the public sector. But from our platform perspective, the data stays in customers' environment, so we never see it. So we don't have the problem with the data since the customer has the hold of it, and our platform is just the data between the platform, and that data doesn't go to our platform since it's been obfuscated, and it's only agents talking to the platform. So we have two escapes from this. I understand, Mario, the problematic of public sector, but in Europe a little bit different kind of legislation.
So here in Canada, the take is slightly different. There's an open data initiative, of course, but it's a curated, and the reason that most things are classified is because of privacy. So it's more a privacy thing than necessarily. I mean, we obviously have different levels of security clearance, but the thing is, unless you go through a request for access to information, which is a process in the government, and that the newspapers and news agency use a lot. Any citizen can too. You don't get the access to the lowest level classification. So it's like it's not open by design, it's more like classified by design. And it's interesting the perspective that the Finnish government has. And I'm actually surprised because you're in Europe, and in Europe there's so many more.
The personal information is pretty how you handle the personal information is, but the one of our sources in the platform is how it does take care of the PII or GDPR, and we want to restrict the use of it. And since no data is transferred to our platform, that doesn't come to an issue since all the data is staying through and by the virtual host that is being located in the customer environment. It stays within the customer's environment, the data, and it doesn't get transferred to us. So there is no data acceptance issue since the customer already has the access. And
it's very interesting. Maybe we can talk offline after.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm really interested.
So you set up a virtual server with the clients, and then you're able to log in, interact with them, help them plan out new workflows, and then it builds it out, tests, and launches it into production in their own environment.
In their own virtual environment. Yeah. That the virtual host is running in their like Azure or GCC Azure or what are the cloud infrastructure.
I think an important clarification here also is that when you are building something for the government, so one of the big concerns is of course compliance. There's all kinds of regulatory pressures on the different government units, and one of the key problems that we solve for the government units from our side is that previously. Like you build anything agentic for the government, like you actually have to audit these things. The State Treasury of Finland is a good example. They are one of our customers. The State Treasury, they had to audit every single agent that they are building separately. And even the versions of the agents, if they update them, like they would have to audit it because of the very, very strict compliance requirements that comes for the fact that they are processing all the payments of the Finnish government. And when we came in, like we said, that you create this governance layer that actually enforces the governance rules that they have, or the compliance rules and runtime to the agents. They don't have to do it separately for each agent anymore. They don't even have to do it separately to each of the processes that they run on top of this governance framework. They simply build the framework that executes the compliance, and then they can deploy and innovate on top of it. So this like solving the governance as a code, like on the bottom, enables these organizations to accelerate their innovation into a completely new levels. And we think that is the key to improve the public sector productivity in a significant leaps and bounds, like going forward. And we are trying to help them unlock it as fast as we can.
No, but Mikko, you don't have to do it all yourself. I'm doing the data part from EU.
Of course.
We meet in the middle. For this particular use case.
We can discuss this further. Yeah, absolutely, because all the help and all the collaboration is very welcome. Rob, I think there's 10. Do we have still time? Is there someone else who would present something or discuss or anything? What do you have?
We still got a lot of little time. Rue, what are you? I know you've got global jet lag, but how you doing?
I'm on leave.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, I'm good. I'm enjoying the presentation. Good job on everything. I was installing the new app from OpenAI, their Mac app, Codex, where they can do various skills and agents and things. Kind of a cool new app. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet.
Have you compared the performance of the latest codex with the Opus 4.6? Like, do you have any personal comments on that?
There's no difference. Like there's incremental improvements. We've been at 100% on SWE bench for 6 months. It's hard to improve on 100%. Now right? It's like, okay, so it's slightly faster, I suppose, but it's not the quality isn't any better. They're not claiming. I think OpenAI 4.6 is claiming something like 80% SWE benchmark. Now, if you know how to do an iterative, self-learning loop, then it makes no difference. Like I can take a model from last year and make it work. So I think that they're just a little bit
Actually,
behind. But
yeah, I have very good. What did you call it? The OpenAI Codex. Codex. I have a Codex review of my Claude stack. I can send it to you, to all of you.
You can send it in the chat. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have
It's
seen it.
perfect. It's perfect. You don't need Codex at all.
The Codex is okay. It seems to have more resources available to it.
Not really, no.
So if you want to save some money, I guess it's a bit cheaper. So
I can send it to this group through Agentics.
We're talking about different thing here, Linda. So let her continue. Thanks.
Oh, well, maybe I don't know, but I'm talking about the new Codex app for Mac OS, and that just came out this week. Yeah, I don't know. It's not bad. I'm not sure why they launched for Mac first, but I guess they have a preference towards Mac.
We Mac users
I still like.
Right.
Yeah, I guess. It's not bad.
Ruben Mandeep has his hand raised up.
Hey, Mandeep.
Yeah, I love the presentation from the Finnish colleagues here. So thank you for actually telling us more about this. I know, Timo, we spoke briefly. You gave me a few weeks ago. So I was like, I missed a bit because I had to drop off. I was wondering, like, what is the feasibility of your sharing this experience? Because it's a real government, public sector experience of what you have done, right? But in a kind of a more consumable use case, something which can be communicated, or when we are meeting similar, like I'm next week in Sam in India, and may meet have the opportunity to meet some government officials who want to do a lot of things similarly. The point about like growing beyond the Microsoft ecosystem, and I think being much more wiser with the limited money everyone has. I think this is amazing what you guys have done. So like CRM, Dynamics, all of the ERP setup, like how can we help to kind of, I'm ready to kind of understand and engross in what you're doing, and probably come up with some collateral that we can share more widely.
Tell them to say they have to provide annotated data with all the annotations that they have in their data. They have to provide that. And then Agentics can flourish. That's the only way.
Yeah, from the data perspective, but I believe Mandeep that the question is related to how other countries.
But it was the officials. They only know that.
Yeah,
I'm interested more in the experience. Like you have solved the problem here, a problem of coming out of a jail ecosystem effectively and building on top. That's amazing, right? So it's the process, it's the framework. We need to probably, again, thinking about AI agentics consulting. If we are agentics consulting, then we need to create a framework that we can take to others and communicate. Like this is what we can do, how we have done.
Well, I agree. I totally agree with you, and find the ways out of the login. And for example, we as a company have taken the route to go to technology sovereign environment to be not technically dependent on the American technology. And from your perspective, I believe that, for example, first you have to walk the path and find the solution, how to develop and what kind of solution you have to transfer to. And then when you know and have the new solution, like a greenfield solution, then there you have to build in the transformation layer. And I would say that we have started the journey and we have built in the greenfield solutions. And now we are into making. This is not the public or strategic decisions already made, but this is from my hacker mindset thinking, not the official decision of anything. But when you have this greenfield environment, you have to do the transition and plan the transition afterwards, and that is under making currently. We don't yet have the full answers for everything, but we know that it is doable. We are increasing the understanding and the public awareness of the possibilities, and now we have to also provide the solution. But that's still very happy to help you with the Assam area and also globally how to decrease the dependency of hyperscalers.
How long is this going on? Could we just have like everybody could just put their own input into this discussion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like open mic.
The open mic, you mean?
Yeah.
Thank you. I look forward to it. I really enjoyed on the conversation. Yes.
Thank you. So how about Roof? It's nearing the 8:30 broadcasting time, and just wanted to show something that we probably have taken those development steps, not only in technological area, but also in ways of working and how to initialize the transition within the organizations. And you have to start the transition from one person at a time, and it's easier to find a soulmate and then double and then triple and quadruple the speed of movement and people joining the transition. But you have to be the spearhead, as Mikko said earlier, and encourage and empower these spearheaders and trailblazers in the organizations. That's pretty much where
I'll
we're
just
at.
Can I have
I'll pass it to Ruv. Sorry, let me just I gotta step out. Just want to thank you all. Congratulations to everyone in Finland. Congratulations to an incredible community that's come together. Hats off for the clarity of the message that you're delivering and the work. And I think the efforts and the work in Finland are going to continue to be a leading beacon for governments around the world.
Yeah.
So very much so, Linda.
Thank you.
We want to show the example, but thanks for the opportunity, Rob and Ruth.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, thanks for taking the time to show us what you've been up to. It's been exciting to watch. Lots of opportunities right now. I'm a little tired from being up for several days, so I appreciate you guys doing this today. I enjoyed sort of just watching. If there's this is the point. If anyone has anything they want to show or demo, that we have the open mic, as you were saying. So I've got a few minutes before I got to jump, but if you are interested in showing something, you can raise your hand. And
yeah,
otherwise,
can you somehow open the mic, or
so,
is it just that everybody has to open their own mics?
Yeah. All right, we got CG Bar. How's it going?
Chris Barlow.
That would be me.
Yeah. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Oh,
How
right,
is
Chris.
everybody?
Yeah.
It's me.
Hi.
Oh, you changed your title. You want to show us what you've been building?
Yeah, I'm logged in from a different system at the moment, so yeah, apologies. Yes, I do have some things to show today. A few things, in fact. So we'll see how we go. So first of all, let me just get the right screen up. Okay. Whew. Gosh, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Got very, very excited and working very hard at 3 o'clock in the morning on agentic coding related activities, and burnt myself out to a greater extent. And so I actually had to take a bit of a step back from it for a couple of months. decompress, have a nice holiday over Christmas, and come back with some, some fresh energy and hopefully some slightly healthier work habits. Well, I've managed to create some quite cool things, and some things that might be applicable within the kind of broader Agentics community. And look, apologies, I'm here in my robe. It's still only 7:30 in the morning. I've been on since just about 6. So the first thing I'd like to show is some of the thinking that has actually been developing for a number of years now around gamification of learning and engagement through some kind of things that some people are probably aware of, coming from Dungeons and Dragons quests. We're not having goals anymore, because goals are boring, targets are boring. Going on quests is fun. It's somehow more engaging, and it's something that we can share and do together. So the thing I'm going to show you, if the sharing allows me to, is called the Guild Hall. Have you got that?
Yep. That's good.
Wow.
So look, it looks fancy. This is just Nano Banana. It's cooking up a cool image for me. But this is something that we've shared with our Agentics NZ chapter. And so what you can do is you can come in and create an account. And I'll just do the pre-fill here, just to save some time. And I'm going to create a new account here. Okay, and we'll just check if that workflow worked. Hopefully it did. Yeah. So here we are. Our adventure awaits. Please verify your email, you brave adventurer. Great, let's go. So I've logged in for the first time to the Guild Hall. It's saying, hey, we've done some updates. Hope you like it. Cool. And you might be ready for a new challenge. We've got some cool quotes here coming in. The future belongs to those who learn and to work alongside intelligent systems. That's very profound. It could have come from Ruth.
That first view that you showed looked exactly like the one where I was working previously at BitMagic.ai, which is like a gaming company sponsored by Supercell.
Cool.
But they had a very nice other concept before that, and it looked exactly like that. But are you in gaming?
Am I in gaming? No, I'm not in gaming.
No. I'm just wanting to say that there is, all the time is happening all around the world, the same things.
Yeah. So I mean, the vision is that one day maybe it will look a bit more like this.
But you are doing exactly what somebody else said in some other, industry.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, I think this is not a new idea. I think it's just applying some well-trodden paths to a different context. So kind of that's the conceptual view, that looks more like a game, right? This is version 1. Version 1, we have our sort of journey along the path. We're still an apprentice. We haven't done anything yet. We can see a link to our next Agentic NZ event. So just trying to sort of build some engagement there through our Luma. And we come down and we can see there's been some activity in the realm. People are accepting quests, people are completing objectives. Well, here's some featured quests, right? So the first thing I can do is to just engage in Agentics NZ, essentially. So It's got a bit of a story about. I hope this is not too small for people. I can maybe just increase the zoom a little bit. You know, you got a bit of a story, what you'll achieve, and you've got a bunch of objectives that you can follow. You know, you're going to join our WhatsApp group. You're going to read about Agentics on the website. You know, so here's the Agentics, and so you can go away and you can read about that. You got to sign up for the newsletter, attend a vibe coding session, and then share a Spark. So when I accept a quest, you know, this is what it's all about. Yes, let's accept it. Okay, so now it's taken me to that quest. You can see it's got a little badge, and we've got our progress. So okay, let's complete some objectives. Okay, cool. We're making some progress. We're
Sorry,
knowing
can
the
I ask
foundation.
in between while we're waiting
Yes.
for the progress?
Yeah.
If you need data, can I somehow connect to the global Agentics network just by, you know, I provide data with MCP or API? Is there like some kind of
You mean broadly Agentics or with this particular piece?
No, just everybody needs what I'm providing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're more than welcome.
Where do I tell that?
There
It's just Finland. It just is in Finland.
Actually, there are a couple of places. The other one is the Discord, and I believe that the Discord channel is available in the globalagentics.org website. Am I right? The global discussion is in Discord. Yeah. I can paste the link in the chat.
No, but nobody uses Discord. It's just gaming. You know.
Actually, guys, we've got 4,000 people.
We don't use Discord.
We do use Discord, so you're welcome to join our Discord. It's discord.agentics.org. We've got I think more than 4,000 members, and it's a good place to hang out and meet people. Yeah, we've got WhatsApp. It's harder to manage. Just in fairness to Chris, can we let him kind of finish his presentation here?
Yeah, of course.
So you know, sort of just what you can do here is that you can have a flag on an objective that says you need to submit some evidence. So what I've just said is that, you know, you can do all these things when you've joined our realm, but you know, we're going to check that you've done it, you know, so that there can be someone just sort of checking it off. So we haven't given our sacrifices to the demigods today. So as you can see, it's still version 1. That's okay. I'll just go back and I'll show you what that looks like on the back end. And just to give you a view of what other quests are out there. So this is the full list sort of what I'm calling the bounty board, where you know, the first thing you need to do is you need to do your first steps, and then, you know, there is criteria that you need to follow. So, you know, there's Agentics 101, right? But, you know, if you haven't introduced yourself to a chapter, then it's probably, you know, you want to do that first, right? Before you embark on Agentics 101, which is the awesome course that's recently been released, produced by Nick and Brad. So thanks for that. But you can come in here and you can do that course and then track your progress on the guild hall. You can come in here and you can see the leaderboard. You can see where other people are at, and, you know, of course, you know, there's Chris. He's up top, and you can see what he's been getting up to. He's completed these badges, and you know, he's feeling pretty good about himself. If I now jump to the view of the game master, right? So that's who's over there? Where is he? There he is. So this is the GM view, right? So this is what I'll see as the game master, the one who comes up with the quests, and, you know, you can modify these quests, and you can give them certain certain criteria. You can make it a side quest. You can change the difficulty, and you've got all these objectives that you can, that you can expand on and all that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. Just the couple of other things. So if I come into review, I can see all of these submissions that have come in, all of the ones that have been approved. People are doing data reconnaissance, they're finishing courses, and that's all very cool. I can even, let's see if this works. I can even send messages to people that will pop up in their screens. So we've got a bit of a kind of a messaging and notification system going on. I'll just say, hey, Chris, welcome to the. We can also send an email if we want to, and we can hop back and we'll see if that arrived. Where are we? Push the screen. Here you go. Hey, Chris, welcome to the community. You got a pop-up. Well done. What was the other thing I was going to show you? Banners, templates, emails, quotes, tiers. That's about it. From the point of view of the Guildhall, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. The idea is gamification of activities and learning. So we can really. The nice thing about this is that you could plug in any kind of learning activity, whether you're doing it, whether it's coming from Agentix, whether it's coming from Salesforce, whether it's coming from Microsoft, whether it's coming from anywhere, and then you can kind of create this this unified view of learning and development, and whether it's for Agentix or really for anything. So that's Guildhall. I've got a few other things to show. Does anyone have any thoughts on Guildhall?
Looks cool. We've been working on, I've got some stuff you might be able to recycle from, what was it? We did I forgot what we were calling it, but about a year and a half ago, we attempted to build like a live coding sort of competition system. So we've got a bunch of stuff in there, like we've got auto judges and things like that you might be able to use, as well as some other agents. But I can be happy to contribute all that stuff to you. I love the idea and what you're doing here. It's totally up our alley.
Yeah, thanks. And look, I mean, this is something that I've just knocked together for our chapter, but sort of on the roadmap would be if there was interest to add chapter support to this. So different chapters may have their own quests that they want people to engage on. So one example of that for us is what I've called the Sovereign Engine quest. So we've been lucky enough to have some sponsorship from HP in New Zealand, and they've offered us some great hardware. So this quest is all about sovereign AI, learning about local models, how we might, as our friends in Finland are doing, starting to untether ourselves from cloud AI, where we can
Don't worry,
to do this for
I
ourselves.
am doing that work here in Finland. You don't have to worry about that. I'm doing that for you.
Excellent.
You don't have to worry about it in New Zealand. I'm doing it right now. Only problem was that yesterday was supposed to be the launch for European language data space.
Okay.
And no, it didn't happen. And also 2 weeks ago, it didn't happen because they had some kind of natural catastrophe. So they didn't even have they didn't even have a backup service, like a backup power.
Yeah.
All right.
So we are very in our baby shoes here in Europe.
This box.
Yeah, is it like what's in it? Like, is there a GPU? Is it an MPU?
It is. What is in this?
It was like an EMP, like a
Linda, I think what Ruth's asking is what's in this box. So I'll just expand on that. So this
Okay.
unit is it's what's called the AMD Halo Strix architecture. It's got
Cool.
it's 128 gigs of unified memory across CPU and GPU. It's a very grunty little system. I can show it to you. It's just behind me, and it's capable of running 120 billion parameter models. So it can run some pretty decent workloads on it.
Okay.
And so I've got this, right? So my challenge to my community is to allow me to host this for you, rather than me, doing sneaking it and shipping it around the town. Would be, well, I'll just keep it plugged in here, and then you create the interface. You create the ability to drag and drop models.
I don't understand anything, but go on.
That's all right. So it's essentially just wanting to make this hardware available to our local community. So that's what this challenge is all about, right? And speaking about side quests as well, that we've got this sort of idea around side quests. That would be something that's not on the main track, but something that's sort of off to the side. So that's the guild hall. I had some other quite cool things I wanted to share, and we've still got a wee bit of time, don't we, Rob?
Yeah. I've got to jump here, but
you jump.
Yeah, you guys are welcome to continue.
Thank you. I shall do. So some of you on the call might have had the pleasure of meeting Simon McCallum. That's not him. Simon McCallum is this guy. So he's you probably can't hear. I'll just get his picture up on the screen so you know what he looks like. Simon is a very clever guy based here in Wellington, and he's, amongst other things, he's a lecturer at Victoria University in the game development space, and he's developed this conceptual model for group work called the 6 animal model. And essentially these animals embody various archetypes that we want to see and work with in a group context. You have the bear. The bear is the visionary. They motivate the team. You've got the wolf. The wolf is the manager. They keep the group going. The owl is the one who's kind of very process and rules oriented. So they want to move things forward, right? So you could apply these sort of archetypes in your own mental model, but this is the mental model that he has developed. And so I've been working with Simon over the years on this, and sort of we've had various iterations of an agentic implementation of the 6 animal model, and the latest implementation of this is in Claude Skills, right? So I'm just jumping across here. So I'm in a repo, right? So I've just brought up any old repo. This repo in particular is a repo that and I'm just using this as a kind of a worked example of where we can apply the animals. So this one is about architecture decision records. That might be a familiar concept to some software engineers or architects in the room. But an architecture decision record is just a way of recording a decision, essentially. And this repo is my way that we've applied that. And there's a specification of what this is and how that works. But that's not the point. The point is that I've just used this repo as a canvas, right, for the discussion.
Sorry, you automatically speak very slow and very silent when you speak about something you might be hiding. It's like you're exposing your secret to us. Be careful.
That's all right. Okay, I'm exposing all the secrets. I have nothing I would like to hide. So just to save some time, what I've done in the background here is I've just said, this is the prompt I've given. I want some help defining the architecture for my vision for the architecture decision records. Invoke the Council of Animals to help me with this. attach each associated skill to a subagent for the task. The most appropriate animal will respond. So in the background, what we've got is all of these animals have been loaded. I'll just see if we can see the skills. No, they're not there right now. That's okay. So what's happened is, let me invoke the council to get an overview of the personas and simultaneously explore your repo to understand your architecture vision. So it's loaded up the skills, it's had a look at the repo, and now we can see that it's instantiated the bear, the cat, and the owl. Okay, the bear, it's looked at the strategic vision. The cat is the critical one, like it's the one that's really going to put a laser focus on things. And the owl is the one that's going to kind of really be looking at your processes. So you can kind of get an idea that these archetypes are really powerful, and they can actually be applied in really a number of different ways and in different contexts. So, you know, the bear has done a strategic assessment, it's looked at the vision, and it's making some strategic calls. The cat has done a risk assessment, and it's come up with a bunch of risks that it's identified. And the owl, now it's kind of getting into dependencies and identifying process gaps and then build order, things like that. So apologies if I'm going a little bit fast because there's some other things I want to get to as well. And then it's kind of brought all that together, and now the council has kind of come up with its assessment, and I've just said, look, you know, this is, for me, like, this is a great starting point to start harvesting business requirements. So then I can just get into like a Socratic dialogue with these agents, because I've just said, ask me these questions that you have one by one as the animal, right? So it started with the bear, the visionary. So then we've got this question prompt. This is a really nice feature in Claude where it will ask you questions and it will come up with these questions. So what is the primary outcome you want from this architecture? Are you building a tool for yourself, proposing a feature for Claude Flow 3? That was actually the context unspoken. That maybe that was the hidden thing, Linda, there. I want to make Claude Flow 3 better. And then I can just go through and I can do the question and answer. So that's kind of, that's the concept of the 6 animals, the idea that we can define archetypes. These archetypes can then created as skills, and these skills can then be attached to subagents. And what, as a kind of the big picture view is that, you know, my background is as an architect, and I'm quite sort of detail focused, but I've got some blind spots, you know, and I don't know what I don't know, and I don't necessarily know what my blind spots are. But if I can kind of invoke this diverse set of perspectives that kind of might be better at looking at some things than I am, it can start to address some of my blind spots and help me get a more well-rounded approach or well-rounded outcome. So does any thoughts on the 6 animals and the council of agents?
Well, at least, Chris, I would like to know if you have this skill published as a skill, or is it just?
I knew this would be I knew this would be the first question.
Yeah, I already looked. I couldn't find it. 404.
Yeah, sorry guys. What I would say in the first instance is I'm gonna drop this particular page in the chat. Where is my chat?
Have you done anything else than ask Claude to do the skill by the
yeah. I use this all the time in my workflow. Yeah. So sorry, I'm talking around your question. So I've dropped the Simon's kind of theoretical basis for this this page in the chat. So please, if you want to learn more about the 6 animal model, please go and check out his video. the short answer to your question is this one isn't public, because it's Simon and I are still refining those agents, because he wants to make sure they are really kind of tight before we make that public, because it's got his name on it, essentially. But this idea, of coming up with your own archetypes, is certainly something that anyone could do.
I actually used it with the thinking hats, the 6 thinking hats. Yeah. So I tried that with that, and it performs pretty well. Actually, I have put that in a skill, which is public.
Cool.
Nice. It should be in my, yeah. Well done.
Nice. Thank you, mate. Thank you. So the next thing, so we'll probably start to understand that there's a bit of a theme in some of my work, is that I love to collaborate with people. So like I'm always looking for the smartest person, people who are smarter than me. So obviously I was very kind of drawn to Simon when I met him. He was the one who sort of introduced me to a lot of these ideas early on. Another person is a guy by the name of Paul Diagnan. Paul Diagnan is a professor in psychology, of all things, and but he's also got a real deep interest in AI. And I've got to know Paul over the years. One of the things that Paul is really good at is working at a strategy level, helping, in particular, through his background in public sector, government agencies of all sizes to come up with their big picture strategy for their organization and their processes. And so he's come up with this proprietary but open methodology he's called DoView. And so DoView is kind of a way of making the strategy understandable and in plain English, and uses visual models to describe some quite complex ideas that you can really drill into. And so again, I've worked with Paul, and we've created a DoView set of agents, right? And again, the latest implementation of this is a Claude skill. And where this came from was, actually going back a few years, Paul invested a whole bunch of his own money into developing a tool that actually did the modeling. Now that tool is a bit long in the tooth now, and we've come a long way with the Gentic system. So we've sort of brought some of this thinking into 2026, and we now have these skills, right? So what boardrooms like to see PowerPoints, right? So first and foremost, we have a skill that will create these models as a PowerPoint. We all love a good PowerPoint. That's what boardrooms like, and that's fine. So this is the kind of the executive summary. We're fixing the world in 2026, and these are all of the big ticket items, and then you can click on these and it will take you through to the slides and it will show you that strategy, right? But I think we can do things smarter, when we can bring these strategies into a code base, and now we're doing strategy as code. So there's a couple of interesting things I learned throughout this process. So firstly was that we can actually, now I'm jumping into the repo here, we can actually, I don't know if anyone else is familiar with draw.io, but draw.io is quite a popular modeling tool. Claude can understand draw.io just fine, and there is even this great extension in VS Code that allows you to use draw.io in VS Code. And so now that this draw.io file is in the repo, I can just start to talk to the diagram. So, give me an overview of that diagram. Cool, I've got all the high level points here. Okay, well, Okay, dig deeper and give me the quick wins. But yeah, okay. Cool. So we're getting the quick wins on how to fix the world in 2026, hopefully. While that's happening, that's draw.io. There is another one. Hey, Jose, what's going on?
How you doing, man? Thank you for sharing this. I have a question. You actually use it in parallel with what is included already as a skills in Cloudflow version 3? I mean, you just put it there and it just complement, or you
At the moment, this is just a vanilla Claude code. This is not Claude Flow. So that's the fascinating thing I found, is that I didn't even need to train Claude to use draw.io. It just knows it. It can just read it. It's just XML. It's plainly enough. So that was easy. And again, this is just an extension to do the viewing. You know, I can move things around and I can manipulate this as well. What I've also found is that
can you include this draw.io in Markdown files? No.
Draw.io is not Markdown. It's XML.
It's the XML.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad because a lot of my material is currently in Markdown. So just very interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. And again, like I've done a lot of work in Mermaid. You know, so Mermaid is a subset of Markdown where you can create these models, but you can't get that complex. You can actually get pretty complex in draw.io, and we've also got tabs, which is quite convenient.
Can you do like how it's delve in or like
Yep. So the delving in, right? So I've got a link here to peace and security that's going to pop me over to the peace and security tab, right? So this is where like the idea with the do view is that it's sort of drilling in, drilling out in levels of complexity.
Very cool.
So what I'm curious, what are the quick wins to fix the world in 2026? Easy fixes. Oh no, it's trying to what? Duplicate color. It's trying to fix the model, not the world. Saying duplicate color. Okay, no, it's trying to fix the model, not the world. But anyway, you get the idea. It can read the model just fine, and it can even manipulate the model just fine, which I've tested in the background, which is pretty cool. Some of you, this is a slightly lesser known modeling tool. This is called Excalidraw, which is more of a friendly view. It's more of it's easier interface, right? But we can do those as well. It can't do multiple pages, as you can see, but it's there, and it can read them just as well. If you're curious to learn more about this one, I can share this one. Paul wants everyone to use this methodology before he kicks the bucket. So there it is. If you would like to learn more about DoView and the DoView skill. Did I have any? Yes, I have one other thing, a bonus item. So bringing it back to quests, right? So sorry, Jose, is your hand still up or? Cool. Bringing it right back to quests, I have this quest. Where am I? Yeah, I have this quest skill, right? So it's a quest designer. So what that quest designer will do is it will create some quests for you based on all of the information you give it. So it can be any kind of activity, and then it will kind of create a really snazzy looking quest. So, for this one in particular, this is for a chap I know in New Zealand, and he's a coach, right? So this is a coaching quest where what it's done is actually it's just gone off and looked at his website, and then I asked it to give me a bunch of options for quests that we could create for this guy based on his work. And the one I chose was the mirror before the mountain. And again, it's given us who is our target clients, the duration, the chapter. There's a whole story around it. You arrive at the base of the mountain. This is the mountain you've been told before. You're ready to climb the mountain, and blah blah blah. And what's the dragon? What's the quest map? You get these chapters or the stages of your quest and the tasks that you need to carry out. And so again, this is just an example of how we can take a workflow, and in this case, it's a workflow of my design around creating quests and a specific way of creating quests, and then what this is doing is it's using Claude's docx skill to generate a Word document with a nice looking format, right? And then it's also using my skill around that skills workflow and bringing them together to create some quite cool outcomes. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on. I haven't been staying up till 3 o'clock anymore doing any of this because I've got a home and a life, and sometimes we all need to be reminded of that.
I relate to that. Yeah, actually, it's getting pretty late here in Finland, so I believe that after this whole week, it was great to see this thing and meet you again for a while. Let's be in touch in offline also.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'd like to thank everyone else also, and I think I have to close computers from this weekend.
Yeah, good man. Thanks, Damon.
Great seeing you all. See ya.
Great presentation.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you all.